Prepare STL presents What Matters to Me Most with Dr. LJ Punch, trauma surgeon and founder of the TSTL. Learn more at preparestl.com.
I'm Dr. LJ Punch, trauma surgeon and founder of the T, and this is the What Matters to Me Most podcast. The pandemic and COVID-19 have filled our lives and bodies with a very deep kind of pain, the pain that comes from trauma. And as we move forward, we're going to have to find ways to recover and heal and even prevent the impact of that trauma. I invited my friend, Dr. Xaivier Tipler, a chiropractor with Proficient Chiropractic, who is serving our community with ways to literally plug into the power we have to heal. The answer is not outside because we have the capacity and even responsibility to take care of our own health and well-being. I'm so excited to hear what Dr. Tipler has to share with us.
What matters to me most?
Dr. Xaivier Tipler, welcome to What Matters to Me Most.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
You
feeling good?
I feel good today,
all right,
man.
Listen, I'm gonna get right into it. You know what I'm hearing on the street, the vibe I'm getting, it's concerning me. People are tired.
I can agree with that.
It's been a year of this pandemic, year plus. How do you see that showing up in the people that you're trying to serve right now?
Well, I can tell you tired is definitely the right word to use. One of the things that we've seen consistently since everything started with COVID, not just tired, but I think just tired from being in fear, being in a place of lack, because that's what's going on right now. You see it with each and every we see it with each and every practice member that comes into our office every single day. There's just this mentality of being afraid to reach out, touch, hug somebody, give a smile to someone. And I think these things have really, it's going to be some long lasting changes, some things that we're going to have to really fight through and recover from after this all has calmed down.
Well, it's already changing, right? I mean, we've seen a shift in the recent times. People are getting rid of mandates for us to wear masks. There's opening up, but people are not in the same place they were a year ago when this all started.
Well, no, not at all. Even though they've lifted this mandate, case in point, had someone come in just today and, they talk about the mandate is like, is it okay to not wear my mask? It doesn't matter. I'm gonna still wear my mask anyway, because I don't know what's gonna happen. So that's that fear I still talk about. Even though these mandates have been raised, things are looking better, things are changing, but the fear is still there. So what are we doing to get rid of that fear?
It's interesting. So you're a chiropractor, I'm a trauma surgeon.
Yes.
We both manage the way trauma shows up in the body. Mm-hmm. What do you see this last year doing in the bodies of people that you're taking care of?
Oh, it has really changed. It has really changed people's bodies. It's changed the way that people think. When someone's mind has shifted, when they're thinking differently now, that's going to affect the body. So when we talk about the pain, as chiropractors, a lot of people see chiropractors because of pain. There's been an increase in it. I mean, severe pain, like we've never seen before. So our office is now flooded with people coming in with this increased pain, and not to mention the pain from just the change in the way that they're thinking, but also think about what we've had to do working from home. This have really put people in a situation where they're just sitting around and not being as active, and that's really impactful on the body.
People are tired, but at the same time, they want to get back to life. And the thing about it is, with that trauma, with that pain, it's not like we can just bounce back and get right into it, Tell me a little bit about your practice and what you're providing for people.
Well, since this pandemic, the one thing that we have provided is a safe haven for people, especially for the community that we serve. Our practice is 98% African American. So I'll tell you this, it's really big because during the height of the pandemic, we were still open. One of the things that we do every single morning is we stand in prayer. Anyone that has an appointment at 9 o'clock, they come into the place, we stand, we hold hands, and we pray together. And I can tell you this, that we had a lot of people that showed up for prayer because, one, churches were closed, still people were not in contact with each other, so that everything with that social interaction that actually helps with healing has been lost. So for us to be that safe haven for people, offering prayer, just offering the education that we need to understand how the body works, because that's something that's not being talked about. A lot of the conversation is what the body is incapable of doing, and not what the body is capable of doing. There's a lot that goes on that we have to understand when it comes to health and wellness. A lot of that is our responsibility, each individual person's responsibility. So health and wellness has to fall on your own shoulders with the help of those healthcare professionals that have the knowledge, that has the information to share. And that's what we do in our practice. So not only are we offering chiropractic, we offer rehabilitation. We have a physical therapist in our building. We have massage therapy. We have reflexology. We even have a lab where someone can come in and get lab work and don't have to wait in their doctor's office or at LabCorp somewhere to get their lab work. So we're looking at everything from a natural and holistic approach. The things that have already been put within us, just understanding how do we help the body to self-maintain, self-regulate, self-sustain in order to get us through this thing.
That approach, my head is spinning so many things.
We'll be right back. Learn about the pros and the cons of the COVID-19 vaccines. Visit preparestl.com to get the facts. Remember, the choice is yours. Prepare STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail. This is What Matters to Me Most with Dr. LJ Punch, trauma surgeon and founder of the TSTL.
I think that is exactly what our community needs right now when it comes to moving on and getting back to life and the impact of COVID. We have to be proactive. And it's as relevant now as it's ever been because there is this huge body of trauma that we're all walking around with now.
We're all dealing with it now. And I still don't think we've seen to the degree of how this is going to impact the community, how it's going to impact the city, even the world, because the entire world has dealt with this. So it's something that we really have to take a closer look at, and in some aspects, really kind of change the course in how we're educating people to get through this thing. Even though everything is opened up and things are better and numbers are coming down, the fact is COVID-19 is not going anywhere. The virus will be around, so what are we doing proactively moving forward?
That is something I have been saying from the beginning. Don't think this is going to be a today, tomorrow, gone situation. And so I want to ask you, what do you recommend for day-to-day folks that they can do to promote their own health and well-being?
I think the first thing is really starting with a healthy mindset. You really have to come to grips with everything that's going on right now. We have to accept the fact that, yes, we've been in the pandemic, we're coming out of it. There have been things that has really changed our lives socially, but we have to come to grips with that first. And then we have to understand that it's up to me. It's up to me to start to do the best for my own health. So that means when it comes to, yes, the things that I put into this body, I have to be a little more cognizant of those decisions that I make. I have to understand that water is good for me. I have to understand that regular exercise is going on. You don't have to go to the gym and kill yourself, but getting out and being active. The body is made to move. The body is made to move. If we're sitting at home and we're stagnant, we're putting our bodies in a position, we're putting the body in a state to accept sickness. But when we're doing things like eating healthy, getting regular exercise, drinking enough water, getting sleep, keeping a positive outlook on things, we're starting to increase the function of the immune system. And that's what's important.
Now you're talking my kind of language
All
there.
right now.
But I'm serious, like, you know, people have made whatever choice made sense to them around the vaccine. They did or they didn't get it done, but nobody, right, is out and can opt out of the choice to support their immune system.
Exactly.
It means nothing if you're not doing that really, really serious day-to-day work.
Exactly.
And those elements you just talked about, again, they're all part about shifting from this reactive to this proactive. And it's about, as I understand you say, turning the power on. Tell me a little bit about that.
So getting your power turned on, it's like I explained earlier. We have to understand that there's a power that resides in the body. I always take it down to the simplest way for people to understand. If you cut yourself on the arm, you don't have to put anything on it. But over time, the body is going to heal. There's a power, there's something within the body that's innately in the body that allows the body to heal. But it takes us really helping that power as well by doing those things that are right. I always explain to people, especially with COVID and how this has impacted people, you have to understand when it comes to sickness, when it comes to infections and things of this nature, you have the seed and you have the environment. It's never the seed, it's always the environment. So the internal environment of the body has to be, if it's sick, then it allows that seed to grow. It allows that seed to manifest. So we get sick. We have those symptoms that really impact us and affect us to the way that it did certain people. But if the environment is strong, by doing the things that are necessary to keep the internal environment of the body is strong, then the seed cannot grow. So those are things that from a chiropractic standpoint and what we understand about the body's natural ability to really heal itself, that's what getting your power turned on is all about.
Wow, it sounds like a recipe to be able to prevail in the setting of what has been an unbelievable year for all of us.
Yes, definitely unbelievable.
And I love that Prepare STL has been saying that the whole time, that we can, through choice, access that power and prevail power. I really like the way you've described this energy source almost that we have. It sounds like a really good prescription for how we can get back to life. Again, you know, we started out talking about how people are tired and they just want to reconnect to that feel-good feeling in their body and the energy. But what I'm hearing from you is not just that there's a physical practice, but there's an intention and a connection that we need to tap into that power. It sounds like your practice is about a lot more than cracking backs. Yeah, you're doing a lot more.
A lot more.
Yeah,
a lot more.
Tell me about the mission at Proficient Chiropractic.
Our mission is to create a reality of oneness in the hearts and souls of the Black community. That's our mission.
I've been saying throughout, episodes of this podcast and with the Prepare STL team that our health and well-being is interdependent. And it's that reliance and connection with one another that I think is going to be so necessary. And I think COVID has tried to rip that apart.
It has.
And the work in front of us to get back to life and get past this fatigue and reconnect and be healthy and well is embodied in the work you're doing at Proficient.
And I think that word you said kind of, that embodies everything, reconnect.
As a trauma surgeon, I take care of people who have literally had life ripped away from them. And I practice in a similar community setting, working to reconnect bodies and people to one another. And I think steps forward, and I think our greatest hope is that maybe this pandemic doesn't just set us back and we recover, but that it lets us for the first time recognize the power we have to be whole and well. You know, modern Western medicine is often heralded as like the most important thing that we can bring to our bodies. But what I hear from you is that actually we are the most important thing.
We are the most important. I like that, Doc.
Tell me, just as we wrap up, again, I want to get like the best tip from you that we can do as people to wake up and be our best selves right now.
I guess the best way to kind of close that out is with a quote. Sometimes we can't change the direction of the wind, but we can always change the direction of the sails. And what that means is, regardless of the path that we've been on, there are things that we have to change in our own lives. We have to adjust the sails in order to get back to living life the way that we once knew. And it's up to each one of us individually. It's up to things like this, you and I connecting and bouncing these ideas back and forth and understanding that there's more than one way to fight this pandemic. There's more than one way than to understanding what's good for the body and what's right for the body. And I think that's what's going to be most important moving forward. Not only in this community, not only in St. Louis, but throughout the world.
What matters to me most?
Family. It's not the direction of the wind. It's the direction of our sails. Things are changing right now, and we are tired. But that brokenness, that weight, that trauma of the last year is not an inevitability. We can plug into our power to get back to life and have that energy and connection in a way that maybe we never had it before. When we commit to our bodies, when we make the choices day to day to protect our immune system, and when we connect to one another, we start tapping into that power and that life in a way we never had before. COVID-19 does not have to be the end. It can be the beginning. I'm so grateful that Dr. Tipler came by today to give us some energy and some perspective on how we can prevail in this ongoing era of COVID-19.
What matters to me most is a presentation of Prepare STL. Prepare STL is a collaboration powered by the Missouri Foundation for Health in partnership with the Regional Health Commission, the City of St. Louis County, and other community health organizations to help prepare all St. Louisans for the effects of the COVID-19 response, how to stop its spread, and how to survive the pandemic physically, emotionally, and economically. Don't miss an episode of the What Matters to Me Most podcast with Dr. L.J. Punch, trauma surgeon and founder of the TSTL, for the latest conversations on COVID-19 and STL, vaccines, racial health disparities, physical and emotional well-being, and more. Download the podcast at preparestl.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Executive producer, Vector Communications. What Matters to Me Most is another positive production of Rare Gem Productions.